platinum, palladium and rhodium are metals, all part of a group of elements known as platinum group metals, the PGMs. Now, we talked about platinum a few weeks ago, the most popular one, but what about palladium and rhodium? Are they important and why? To answer these questions, I'm joined today by StoneX Head of Market Analysis for EMEA and Asia, Rhona O'Connell. Thank you for joining us, Rhona.
Pleasure as always.
So I'd like to ask you about these two metals. I don't think I've ever heard of a palladium or rhodium mine. Where are they coming from?
They're byproducts. Palladium is a byproduct of, well, they both are. They're byproducts of the South African platinum mines and the big Russian Operation Norilsk, which is the world's largest producer of palladium as a byproduct of nickel.
And do they have many industrial uses like platinum?
Oh, plenty. It's very highly concentrated though, whereas the automotive sector is responsible for between 42% of platinum demand every year. It's over 80% for palladium and it's over 85% for rhodium. So it is concentrated. There's lots of other little uses in electronics and processing and glass and so on and so forth. But it's definitely the auto sector that counts.
Okay, so we've just talked about the importance of palladium and rhodium for the auto sector. Let's turn to how important is the auto sector to palladium and rhodium. Does this transition to net zero have an impact on the outlook?
Oh, does it ever? Yes, you bet it does. At the very simplest chemical level, the exhaust gases from a gasoline-fueled vehicle are unburned hydrocarbons, carbon monoxide, and nitrous and nitric oxides. Now, as I say, at the very simplest level, palladium is the most effective in oxidizing the unburned hydrocarbons, rhodium for reducing the nitric and nitrous oxides to nitrogen, while platinum deals with the carbon monoxide. But there's all sorts of different perms and coms of the way different catalysts are put together. So the byproduct, of course, is carbon dioxide, which doesn't help when you're talking about greenhouse gases. And the transition to net zero, which is already struggling. I don't think you'll find any metals markets analysts who didn't foresee this. We've all been saying that the aspirational shifts to net zero by 2030, 35, or further out, depending on which country you're talking about, it's not going to happen. It will eventually, and to some extent, but almost certainly not on time. But as an analyst, you've got to start somewhere. So looking at the Bloomberg New Economic Finance numbers for auto projections, which goes out to 2040. And they break it out into the internal combustion engine, or ICE, we call them for simplicity, the battery electric vehicles, the plug-in hybrids, the fuel cells. By the time everything goes into sync according to the schedule, which it won't, but as I say, you've got to start somewhere. And by the time you also wind in not only the reduction in the internal combustion engine PGM consumption, we're also going to get scrap coming back from old vehicles. So there comes a point around about 2037, 2038, whereby instead of being consumers of 80% of palladium and 85% of rhodium, give or take, the auto sector becomes a net supplier into the market. They've got real problems.
Mm-hmm. Just going back to that with the net zero, why do you not think that will be achieved on time?
You've got political issues at the top and trade tensions. You've got consumer resistance at the bottom. And those two pushing together are giving the automakers huge headaches. Ford and GM are already considering changing their structure in terms of what they're planning to do. I think Volvo's already cut one. And certainly as far as the tariffs are concerned, you can see any number of quarterly reports from the major auto producers. They're losing their EBITDA to the EBIT, not before depreciation and amortization. They're generally giving investor guidance that they'll be down by 29–30% this year.
So overall, would it be fair to say, though, the outlook for palladium and rhodium is going to be deteriorating as we look out to the future then?
That is why the palladium price is crawling along the bottom more or less as we speak, yes.
Thank you so much for your analysis once again, Rhona.
Great pleasure.
For more videos like this, please do like and subscribe.